what we're going to start with, and this is a very powerful breath, and we're going to start with just kind of warming up for it. So 10 breaths. And then also while you're doing those 10 breaths, when you get to the top, hold for 10 seconds, because that's going to be key for when we're holding the squeeze, or what did you call that?
The Valsalva maneuver. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so the Valsalva maneuver is just where you, that moment where you bear down. For instance, you close off your throat, and you kind of engage the core, you engage the deep lower core, that diaphragm doesn't go anywhere, and you just bear down. So it's holding the breath, but squeezing at the same time. So it's just like when you're sitting on the toilet, and maybe you're a little impacted, just like that.
Makes sense. So what we're going to start with doing is just flexing our perineum, our P muscle, and we're going to just hold that for 10 seconds while we breathe. And then we're going to focus with our lower core muscles, and the best way to engage the lower core muscles is trying to squeeze the lower back muscles.
So we got the Kegel muscles of the perineum, we got the lower back muscles that we're squeezing, and then we're also going to begin
engaging
the upper abs.
The upper abs. And once you get comfortable just kind of holding those and being able to hold them for a little bit, then you're going to want to just throw them all together. So you're going to hold all three sections at once.
Okay.
And then we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose.
Okay.
We're going to hold at the top for 10 to 15 seconds if you're feeling ambitious. I don't think there's anything wrong with 20 seconds.
Okay.
And then you're going to release it slowly through the mouth. So we can do one.
Let's go.
Okay.
So now right here I'm engaged. Perineum, low back, and okay, now we're into the Valsalva. Am I releasing through here now?
Yeah, you're releasing it all at once. Just a total relaxation.
Okay.
And then we're going to do like 1 to 2 breaths in between to warm up.
Okay. Now, is it perineum, low back, upper abs, or am I doing all at once?
You're kind of all at once, but it starts at the base.
Starts at the base?
Starts at the base with the breath and comes upward.
Okay.
And you're squeezing everything
and then
upward.
you go into Valsalva.
Yep, and you're still holding everything tight, and you're focusing on pushing everything up to the head.
Okay,
you're focusing on that flush.
Yeah. When you hear him say pushing everything up to the head, that flush, that is the Valsalva maneuver. That's the bearing down, and you're going to feel that rise in your body. You're going to feel that rise into your head.
Correct. When I first did this, I recommend only starting out with like 4 to 7 breaths.
Yeah.
I did it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was doing way more than that, and I got this like crazy like pinging between the front and the back of my head, and then I was like, I like slunched over and I was like exhausted, and then I got this pounding headache, and then that night I was like.
So I guess that's all a good thing. I guess that's what everybody wants.
Exactly. No. So all I'm trying to say is don't overdo it.
You can overdo this.
You can way overdo it.
So what we're looking for, one of the things you'll hear me talk about a lot in my physical therapy practice, if you come see me, and even in yoga, is there is a minimum effective dose. Like so this is really fascinating because what he's saying is there is too much of a good thing here, right?
Absolutely.
There's too. So when we start off, a couple of minutes, or do we want to go for a whole?
I think you start out with counting the breath. I think starting out, here's what's neat about this is, when you hit the effect. And I'll just leave it there. When you hit it and you get there, you know.
Right.
And the more you train it, I recommend starting with like 4 to 7 breaths, and then maybe the next time you do it, go to 8 or 9.
Okay.
And then work your way up. And then
you said you could press into as much as 20.
Yeah, you can. If you're needing that much,
you got other issues.
You're not doing it correctly.
Oh, okay.
Once it takes me anywhere right now, the shortest time I did 3 breaths, and the effect kicked in immediately at 3 breaths. And I had pulled over because I was getting ready to walk into a meeting, and I just wanted to be completely sharp and ready to go. Have you seen the movie Limitless?
Yes.
This is like the limitless breath.
Awesome.
Right? That people don't talk about.
Okay, cool. And so we're going to package it, we're going to sell it, we're going to be millionaires, change the world. All right, cool, yeah.
And so 3 breaths I hit it. Other times it generally is between 7 and 8 breaths.
Okay, well, you want to try like three breaths?
Yeah, let's do 3 breaths.
And I will be limitless.
That's right.
After 3 breaths. All right.
And when you're done, just kind of let go. And I think a lot of times we're holding our posture, and I think at the very end, kind of just let go.
Okay.
You know, we don't need to slouch down here, but just kind of relax, you know. But don't lay down. For some reason, when you lay back after this, you kind of short circuit the effects.
Okay.
So stay upright.
Stay upright.
Stay upright, and just kind of relax for a minute.
Okay.
So we'll start with 3 breaths, and your inhales are gonna be different than mine. So we'll just kind of run with it. We don't need to stay in unison with it.
Okay.
So we'll start with an inhale while we're flexing.
That is really intense.
So,
it takes a lot of intentionality, and I think that it's interesting. We talked about the minimum effective dose, and we talked about how if you need 20 minutes, you're not doing it right. The awareness and focus that is necessary. You have to have a lot of awareness, basically from your pelvis through your spine, and then as it rises. There's a lot going on, and I was kind of coming in and out, like there was so much focus, and like my vision got a little fuzzy there for a second, and then it kind of came back, and I was trying to keep everything engaged. And okay, what do I do next?
It took me about 6 to 7 days before I got it down. Before anything happened. But you can sense it.
You can sense it.
You can sense it's going somewhere.
Yeah, and the difference between this breathing and some of the other targeted breathing that I do for retraining the autonomic nervous system and taking you out of fight or flight and putting you into rest and digest. The difference between this one is I feel relaxed and I feel very focused.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of times with the breathing training that I do in my practice and with my patients and clients is I'll take them through the kind of the heart rate variability breathing, the autonomic nervous system breathing for a reset, and I've had a couple of patients actually nearly pass out. The room kind of gets foggy, and they lay down, and the headache goes away immediately, and they get that really powerful neurologic reset. But they go from kind of hypervigilant to nearly passing out. Right. This one, I feel relaxed and I feel very focused. Right. So this is very different than a lot of the experiences that I've had and that I've even given my clients. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, Wyatt. So can we do this again sometime? Yes. Sit down and talk, and we'll talk more about breathing. And there's a lot more that I want to talk about in terms of, we're going to bring this into heart rate variability, longevity, central nervous system resetting. My big focus with this, and what I'm so excited about with Wyatt to have him here and to begin to have these conversations, is that the diaphragm. We're going to start talking a lot more about heart rate variability and what the diaphragm actually does with the vagus nerve, and how breathing and belly breathing takes you out of fight or flight, puts you into rest and digest, and that you actually have some physical controls over that. You can retrain this. You can begin to get control of your autonomic nervous system, and things like high blood pressure, your stress levels, your hormone responses. you can actually get control of all of that without medication. So, Wyatt, namaste. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good.
All right.